Have you ever considered that what you perceive as reality might be nothing more than a reflection of your own thoughts and beliefs? This intriguing proposition invites us to ponder on the intricate dance between perception and reality. It suggests that reality as we know it is not a fixed, immutable construct, but rather a fluid, ever-changing entity that morphs in response to our personal beliefs and perceptions. This idea, while abstract, has profound implications on our day-to-day lives. Our perceptions shape our reality, but how exactly does this happen? Let's dive into it. Imagine your brain as an endlessly complex machine, meticulously processing a constant stream of information. Every sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch is quickly analyzed and interpreted. This intricate process is our perception. It's through this lens that we experience the world around us. Now consider this. Each person's lens is unique, crafted by a lifetime of experiences, beliefs, and emotions. This means that every single one of us perceives the world a little differently. So, in essence, we each live in our own version of reality. Fascinating, isn't it? Let's delve a bit deeper. You see, our brains are not just passive receivers of information. They're active creators of our experience. When we perceive something, our brains don't just record it as is. They interpret it, add meaning to it, and even fill in gaps where information is missing. This is why two people can witness the same event and recall it differently. Their brains have processed the event in their own unique ways, leading to two different perceptions, and thus, two different realities. The power of perception also extends to how we view ourselves. Our self-perception can greatly influence our behavior, our relationships, and our overall well-being. If we see ourselves in a positive light, we're more likely to take risks, form healthy relationships, and cope better with stress. Conversely, negative self-perception can limit our potential and lead to a host of mental health issues. It's important to note that our perceptions are not fixed. They can change, and when they do, our reality changes along with them. This is why mindfulness practitioners often focus on perception. By becoming aware of our perceptions, we can start to see the world in a new light, and perhaps create a better reality for ourselves. Different perceptions lead to different realities. Remember, your reality is a reflection of your inner world. So the next time you find yourself in a challenging situation, ask yourself, how am I perceiving this? It might just change your reality. Let's explore this concept further with a couple of real-life examples. Consider the tale of the two brothers. Raised in the same household, with the same opportunities, they had wildly different perceptions of their upbringing. One brother saw their parents' strict discipline as oppressive, their high expectations as unattainable. He grew up feeling stifled, believing he was destined to fail. As an adult, he struggled with self-doubt and self-sabotage. His reality was one of struggle and disappointment. The other brother, however, perceived their upbringing differently. He saw the discipline as guidance, the high expectations as a vote of confidence in their potential. He grew up feeling supported and empowered, believing he was capable of great things. As an adult, he thrived, his reality one of success and accomplishment. The same external circumstances, two entirely different realities, all based on perception. Now let's shift gears to a more historical perspective. Think about the invention of the airplane. Before the Wright brothers, the general consensus was that human flight was impossible. The reality of the time was that humans were bound to the ground. But the Wright brothers didn't share this perception. They believed with absolute certainty that flight was possible. And with that belief, they changed not just their reality, but the reality of the entire world. Or consider the women's suffrage movement. At a time when women were largely perceived as incapable of making political decisions, a group of determined women challenged this perception. They believed, against all odds, that they had the right to vote. Their belief, their altered perception, changed the reality for women across the globe. Let's also look at the remarkable story of a man who was told he would never walk again after a devastating accident. Yet he refused to accept this as his reality. His perception was that he could and would walk again. Through sheer determination and relentless physical therapy, he defied the odds and took his first steps. His reality shifted with his perception. Finally, let's remember the story of Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in prison, yet never lost sight of his vision for a free and equal South Africa. Despite the harsh reality of his imprisonment, Mandela held on to a different perception. He believed in a future where apartheid was abolished, where all South Africans were free. His perception became his reality when he was released from prison, and South Africa held its first democratic elections. These stories are a testament to the power of perception. They show us that our reality is not a fixed, immovable entity, but a flexible construct that can be reshaped and redefined. They remind us that our perception, our beliefs, our mindset have the power to alter our reality, to transform the world around us. As these stories show, a shift in perception can drastically change one's reality. But what does science say about this? Well, it turns out that science has a lot to offer on the subject of perception and reality. Let's take a look at some of the fascinating research that's been conducted in this area. One of the most compelling examples of how perception shapes reality can be found in the placebo effect. This is a phenomenon in which a person's symptoms can improve after they receive a treatment that's actually inactive. It's all because they believe they're receiving an effective treatment. The mind perceives the placebo as real medicine, and in response, the body often starts to heal itself. Amazing, isn't it? But it's not just about the placebo effect. There's a growing body of research that shows how our mindset can influence our physical health. For instance, studies have shown that people who have a positive outlook on life tend to live longer, healthier lives than those who are more pessimistic. In one study, researchers found that people who perceived themselves as less active than others, even if they were equally active, had a higher risk of mortality. This suggests that our perceptions, even if they're not entirely accurate, can have a profound impact on our health and well-being. And then there's the concept of neuroplasticity. This is the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. It's how we learn new things and adapt to new situations. And guess what? Our perceptions play a key role in this process. The way we perceive our environment and experiences can shape the neural pathways in our brains, essentially creating our own unique version of reality. So, the science is pretty clear. Our perceptions aren't just passive observations of the world around us. They're active processes that can influence our physical health, shape our brains, and ultimately create our reality. Science, too, supports the idea that our perceptions can shape our reality. So, if perceptions can change reality, can we use this to our advantage? Absolutely we can. Let's delve into some practical tips on how to actively change our perceptions and influence our reality. Firstly, mindfulness is a powerful tool. By being present in the moment and accepting it without judgment, we can begin to see things as they are, not as we think they should be. This allows us to shift our focus from negative thoughts or experiences and instead tune into the positivity and beauty that surrounds us. Secondly, we can employ cognitive restructuring. This is a psychological technique that helps us challenge and change harmful thoughts or beliefs. When we catch ourselves in a negative thought pattern, we can stop, examine that thought, and ask ourselves, is this really true? Often we'll find that our fears and worries are not based on reality, but on our perception of it. Lastly, positive affirmations can be incredibly potent. Regularly affirming positive beliefs about ourselves and our world can slowly but surely shift our perceptions. For example, instead of thinking, "I can't do this," we can affirm, "I am capable and strong." Over time, these positive affirmations become our new reality. Remember, our perceptions are not fixed. They're flexible and we can shape and mold them. We are not merely passive observers of reality. We are active creators, and our perceptions are the paintbrush. By changing our perceptions, we have the power to change our reality. In conclusion, our perceptions are not just passive observations of the world. Rather, they are active interpretations that shape our reality. We've journeyed through the multifaceted nature of perception, exploring its power, the stories it weaves, and its scientific underpinnings. We've seen how our perceptions, like a painter's brush, color our world in a palette of our own choosing. Perception is far from being a mere reflection of reality. It is a reality creator, a dynamic force that molds our experiences. It's the lens through which we view the world, and by changing this lens, we can transform our reality. Remember, every thought, every belief, every interpretation you hold echoes in the reality you experience. You are the architect of your reality. Perception is your blueprint. So, what will you choose to perceive and thus create as your reality today?